IDEs are basically software that are commonly used in computer science, and these software can be used to compile programs, to execute programs. They support a wide range of languages: C++, C Sharp, C, Java, Python, you name it. And so, as Paulus just showed you, there are a bunch of IDEs available out there that are accessible. For example, there is Visual Studio, there is code blocks, as Paulus just demonstrated to you. But a lot can actually still be done to make these even more accessible. And one of the work that has been done at Microsoft Research relatively recently by one of our iSTEM core team members, Venkatesh, is the development of this extension called Code Talks. And what this extension basically does is it tries to make Visual Studio even more accessible and provides real-time feedback to someone who is blind or visually impaired. And what it tries to do is it basically uses audio feedback to provide you information about any syntax errors instantaneously. So just as how other sighted people can immediately get to understand in an IDE if there are syntax errors, this is exactly what this plugin can actually do as well. There are also other cool features, such as you can actually set breakpoints very easily. I can provide you more information, very easy to use interface, and more information about where is it that your program is crashing. You can, of course, do a lot of stuff with like actually trying out the program with different values and seeing how it will respond, and a bunch of features like that as well. So we've been talking a lot about IDEs, but often the easiest way to do something is actually by using command line interfaces. So for example, you can use command prompt or any bash terminal. We can also use, for example, Anaconda prompt for Python and a bunch of other such CLI tools. And the good thing about this is because all of this is CUI or character based, and there's absolutely no GUI involved or graphical interfaces involved, screen readers can actually do a really good job of rendering these or reading them out properly. So I'm going to quickly demonstrate one such example for you on how something like this can actually be done on a command line tool. So for example, I'm going to pull up Anaconda because I love Python.
Unavailable text area.
And I would let it load.
Blank. 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 Greater.
All right.
See user,
so
user Anaconda to see users user documents.
So we are in Anaconda now. It gives me the current directory I'm in. I'm in my documents directory. I am OK with that. I was going to open up a Python console here.
Space.
So here I am.
Space.
And let's say
Space.
I want to actually know what is on my screen right now. I can use basic commands to select all of this, copy it to a text editor, for example, and read it from there. This is one of the tricks that we can use. So I will do just that. I'm going to copy this.
Context. Mark leaving menu.
I'm going to select
menu,
all. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to open up Notepad.
W WinWord Notepad. Type help. Python 2.7.
All right. I know that I'm in Python shell right now. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to print a simple message. Hello world. This is a Python demo.
Right.
And
Space.
I'm now going to copy it over
Menu.
again
Leaving.
and make sure that it's actually got printed.
Left. Blank. Print hello world. Hello world. This is a Python demo.
Of course it did.
Print hello world.
This was the statement that I gave.
Hello world. This is a Python demo. Hello world. This is a Python demo.
So the first one is actually the statement that I gave it. The next one is the implementation or the output, which is exactly what I wanted it to print. Now, you would have realized that there are actually parentheses after print, which is consistent with how Python syntax works, at least in Python 2. So basically, what can be done here is we can change the screen reader punctuation to read out all of this punctuation if that is what you're comfortable with. With practice, it seems to me, or at least in my personal experience and a lot of our experiences, punctuation becomes a second nature. We automatically know that you would definitely provide it parentheses and enclose your strings in quotations, for example, and so there is not a need for punctuations as such, if you're comfortable with it. Also, in languages like Python, indentation can play an important role. So what can be done here is that we can actually use, again, IDEs that Pardos demonstrated to you, for example, Visual Studio, and there are settings wherein indentation can be turned on such that screen readers actually announce if there are 2 spaces or 4 spaces, 6 or 8, which gives you a sense of where you are in the program flow. Oftentimes, when you're very comfortable with the language and with the logic, indentation also becomes a second nature, and it just comes naturally to you. So until that time, I would advise that you turn on the indentation feature and actually let your screen reader specifically read out what is indentation level for a given particular code block.